game. The game starts with caro-kann, exchange variation, knight f3, and knight c6. So usually I would recommend move the bishop to d3 before moving the knight, because we can control f5, and black bishop cannot move to f5. So knight f3, knight c6. I mean, knight f3 is not a problem. I'm just suggesting another way to move the pieces. And bishop to d3, it is still good. Knight f6, castle. Bishop g4, black pin our knight. So, well, if you don't like your knight being pinned, we can play like h3. It's defensive move. I think that's efficient. And after bishop g4, how can we deal with the pin and also the d4 pawn? So c3 is something I would recommend. So h3, well, I think black will win the pawn. So we should play c3 to support d4. And black didn't take the knight. Black actually can take the knight. And the queen take the bishop. We can win the d4 pawn. That's a center pawn. That's a great asset. But yeah, black didn't find this opportunity. After knight c3, well, yeah, can we take the pawn? Oh, maybe not. If push the pawn to okay, g4, and if we take the knight, queen takes bishop here. So I'm wondering bishop b5. Yeah, so this diagonal is weak, and knight d5. So in this position, white is way better than black because white has very good piece development. Black has majority of the pieces staying at very passive position. So well, in this position, black it's not good choice to take the pawn. But I still think we can take the knight first and knight bd4, attack the king, and also defending bishop b5. So e6, bishop g5. I think both sides didn't notice there is a problem at the d4. g5, bishop to g3, bishop d6. Yeah. I mean, so now maybe taking the knight is a little bit like after knight d4. Can we still do that? Maybe queen e3, knight back, knight b5. White threaten knight c7. So in this case, because black is slow in castling, the king will be in danger. So if we rook to c8, white can win the pawn back, and also yeah, the black king will be kind of like in danger. Bishop d6, knight b5. Well, I will take the bishop instead of waiting for black taking my bishop, because if black take my bishop, this double pawn is not good pawn structure. Even though we opened up this f file, these two pawns are a little bit weak, and also the g3 pawn will be a weakness. White doesn't have the dark square bishop, which will make the pawn even weaker. Oh no, take the knight is not good. Take the knight will help. So first of all, I think our bishop is pinning the knight, which means the knight is passive. So if we take the knight and white take the bishop, queen attacking f6, how can we deal with this open f file? So this is a huge problem. So instead, I'm thinking maybe, I understand there is a concern of g4, because after g4 we'll move bishop to g6, and after exchange black will have double pawn as well. But we can play knight e4. This is the best move. If you play g4, I can move bishop to g6 without the worry that the bishop will be traded. And if you take my knight, I can take that with the pawn, and this knight is pinned, also under attack. So Okay, so white didn't take that with the queen. White should definitely take that with the queen. So a6, knight to c. Yeah, so now black win the pawn. And knight to d7. Well, can we just a castle to protect f7? King f1, knight e5. This is aggressive, protecting and also defensive. This is a good move. Knight a4. But what about rook e1? Attacking the knight. The knight is a defender, so can we just attack that? And also the king is stay at the e file. So I think it totally makes sense to make the rook to the e file. Knight a4, I don't see the purpose of this move because these two squares are I mean maybe knight c5, but this is not as dangerous as expect. Maybe preparing c3, but bishop, okay, knight a4, maybe c3 to attack the d4 knight. But I think moving the rook, attacking this file, and also attacking the hanging knight is a direct attack. b3, rook e1, but this is a little late. c3, c8. That's an interesting move. We can take the pawn, sacrifice the bishop, and the queen to a6. And if black offer exchange, we can take that and win the knight. If black move the king to b8, we can sacrifice the rook and potentially rook f7. Or maybe queen b6, check. And later, knight c5. What about this move? No, queen c7. But at least we have won 2 pawns back, right? White is better. Queen b knight b6. Yeah, so white can sacrifice the pawn and sacrifice the bishop. So on the other hand, maybe the king stay at the e file is better than moving to the queen side, and also we can take the bishop before we move the queen to c7. Okay, c3. So now these two knights are connected, which makes the defense most robust. e5. Knight e5. Win the pawn. f5. So now black is better, and the open c file is really hard to utilize for white. So yeah, I think we should move the knight, but attack the queen is good, and control the center file. Okay, can we just take the pawn? If c2, can we move rook to e8? No, maybe rook to d8. Yeah. But I don't think rook c2 will be helpful. Queen g3. Yeah, as I said, the g3 pawn is a weakness. Take the pawn. Now black has up 2 pawns. This is a huge advantage. Well, black should activate the king in the end game. Okay, that's good. Okay, check. Yeah, connect the pawns. Now black is winning. King d3. That's a really good move. e2. Yeah, this is a very good plan to promote the pawn, and the white cannot do anything about it. Okay, so once black has the queen, we don't have to walk through the rest of the game. So yeah, I feel like at the beginning both sides missed the problem at d4. That's something we should be aware. And as the game developed, I think black should castle a king as early as possible. That would be great. And white doesn't get the opportunity to attack the slow castling king. And yeah, and also bishop a6 is something. There's a good opportunity to sacrifice the bishop to open up the defense. Okay, that's it.